The first to touch down was the chief Kremlin diplomat Sergei Lavrov. Lavrov is President Vladimir Putin's most trusted government official. His visit came at a time where South Africa is under pressure from the Western countries to isolate Russia.
We have discussed sanctions. I've discussed sanctions really in every country that I visited. And my main message is that we take very seriously the sanctions that we've placed on Russia in response to its brutal invasion of Ukraine, and violation of those sanctions by local businesses or by governments, we would respond to it quickly and harshly, and we certainly urge that there be compliance with those sanctions. That's the discussion I've had here generally.
We have always respected South Africa's traditional non-alignment stance in foreign policy. The European Union doesn't ask Africa to choose sides. We are just asking all countries in the world to stand on the side of the United Nations Charter. Nothing more, but nothing less. Because what is at stake is the survival of the multilateralism. And the European Union regards South Africa as an important partner to uphold and to reinvigorate a rules-based international order.
Both Pretoria and Moscow defended this relationship between the two countries.
Let's look at a multifaceted approach and work together, not say, South Africa, Russia, you work, persuade them. It's a world problem. As the global community, let us work together to find peace.
The other thorny issue is the military exercise that will include Russia, China, and South Africa.
I would like to highly appreciate the position of principle of South Africa, including the position which you, Madam Minister, introduced in your recent interview. I respect the openness and the responsible approach which you demonstrated on the basis of your allegiance to the key national interest of South Africa and its people.
Military exercises, Vice President, of course, the questioner did not add that we had military exercises with the United States and France last year, and this question was not asked, but please proceed.
Facts are facts. 140 states, which is a considerable number, has been condemning Russia's aggression against Ukraine. And I know that South Africa respects the Charter of the United Nations and the territorial integrity of the states. Allow me to stress that from a legal point of view, there is no doubt Russian aggression is illegal and illegitimated under international law, to which South Africa and the European Union are very much attached.
The two opposition parties in South Africa are divided.
Our position with regard to ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine remain the same, and as the terrorist organization known as NATO consolidates itself to further arm Ukraine and encroach on the security of Russia, we must, as the left, condemn and expose NATO. At the current moment, NATO is violating all agreements which were reached at the end of the Cold War, which was to not further expand its influence towards the East. NATO is currently the principal aggressor in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And we must develop and popularize this position and never show any confusion in this regard.
You're not neutral when you're hosting the Russian ambassador at a function on the night of the invasion, when you're doing naval exercises. Even other countries that are close to Russia have cancelled naval exercises because of the appalling message it sends. The mystery around the Lady R, allowing her to dock here, no one knowing what's going on or off that ship. These are all things that point to the fact that South Africa is not neutral by any way. They are intrinsically in bed with Russia, and this administration refuses to condemn Russia's unwarranted invasion of Ukraine and is completely taking Russia's side in this particular matter.
South Africa will be hosting the BRICS summit later this year. More leaders from around the world are expected to attend the summit. President Ramaphosa pointed out that he is also going to invite heads of states from Africa. Analysts have weighed in.
I think South Africa has got a very, very hard position, and I think its position on the continent, especially as it chairs the BRICS forum, is very, to an extent that it is very influential. We can see how President Biden invited President Ramaphosa to the United States of America to make up a decisive action to condemn Russia. You know, we can see that South African position cannot be underestimated.
Sophie Mokoena, SABC News, Johannesburg.